the way that you do church, having a youth revival for 25 years, I have not any other, I cannot go to a church in Europe and see, wow, you had it. I have to go to Singapore in order to see it. One personal story, I remember being here I think it was like when we were studying together and I was here for a study week. I had a driver, a young person from this church, picking me up at the hotel. So we were driving back on the way to church, and it was maybe 15, 20 minutes. So I asked this young person, what's your favorite part about Heart of God Church? And I was thinking, wow, it must be like the atmosphere, it must be the screens, the lights, everything that is good for the eye. But he was like thinking maybe for 15 seconds, and he was like, I love that the pastors are speaking into my life.
Whoa. Wow.
That was his favorite part about being part of such a mega church, that the pastors took their time to disciple, to coach this person, to speak into that person's life, because he said, that helps me continue growing. And we are seeing a growing church, and that's why you work hard, and it's about each individual that is part of this church.
So, talking about church building, and I know that you guys have been pastoring for many years, and earlier, we spoke about different church models, but I know it's also the same for pastoring as well. What do you guys think? What is your perspective or your point of view of being a senior pastor?
To me, being a senior leader, the only qualification you need, you have to love people. If you don't love people, you're never hearing them, you won't care about their dreams, you won't care about their life. So even it's seemingly obvious to say this, sometimes it's hard to find a senior leader of a mega church that really love to interact with people.
Yeah.
It's funny to say so, but it's, and that's what I see here. All the senior leaders, starting with the senior pastors and the senior leadership team, they love to interact with people. They love to invest in people. Every individual matters. So to me, that's the only way to do church. That's the way I am, actually. And you can be a leader of a huge crowd, but again, you have to worry and take care of individuals. That's so precious what I see at Heart of God Church. You became big throughout the years, but you're not just sitting on the success, saying, okay, now it's built already. No, every person matters. When I see the decision making, we had a chance to sit at the table and being part of so many meetings, backstage meetings, full staff meetings. Every decision, where you put your resources, where you put your manpower, every decision is towards individuals, salvations. How many people are going to be able to save first, and then how young people will benefit from it, how young people will thrive on it. So every decision is made towards individuals, towards young people. Yeah.
What really fascinates me about this church is that you continue to grow, and whatever church grows, it grows in numbers. And if you think about this cake, the cake is still the same. The time, the pastor's time does not, grow. It does not get more time, even if the church grows. So there will be a smaller and smaller piece to each member. But what really fascinates me here is the accessibility that the members have to the senior pastors. Being around this week to see how they are on the floor, on the ground, with the members, with the staff. It's like a home atmosphere. You are not like when now I really need to step up. People are relaxed. It's such a relaxed atmosphere. And I know that this is what the Pastor Hambaslia wanted to be. And for me, this is such a good example because we live in a media age, and much what we see on the social media, I bless it. I pray that God uses it. You see many mighty men of God and women of God, but you only see them on the screens, and you're thinking, okay, they're probably not that accessible, and that's the impression. Yeah, and for many of the pastors, what will the feeling be? If I am not that kind of person, then I can, I'm not a good pastor. But here we are seeing like something different. You can be totally natural, relaxed, even if you are leading such a big and amazing church. And that's really something that gives me thank you for showing this example. So I can also be like that.
That's right. You know, usually there's some environments that people may be, you know, having fun, hanging out, talking, and then when the senior leader comes, it's like God Almighty entered the room. You know, so everybody's quiet, everybody's silent. Uh, it's not natural, you know. But here I see it totally different. Of course, there's honor. Of course, there's respect, but it's a home environment. So I would say it's not like boss employee, it's father son.
Yes.
You know, it's totally different. You know, and again, you guys produce so much. Even, you know, you may be laughing and you may be having fun, but you're working and producing and deciding. You know, I would say in one of the meetings, after the meeting was done, it was a 3 hour and a half meeting, and then you guys asked me in the debrief, hey, what was your perception? And my answer was, it seems like I've just made a 4-year college in 3 years, in 3 hours and a half. You know, so much learning, so much insights, and again, in a light environment. It was not heavy. You know, important decisions, but in a light environment. That's key. That's really key. Yeah.
Yes, and that's what serving God is all about.
Yeah.
That we can be serious, we can make decisions, but at the same time we can have fun.
That's right.
Yeah, we can laugh, we can joke, we can live life together.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. So it's
Yeah.
like doing both, you know.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and actually, I think we're going to talk about it also. Live life together. It's something that I learned with you guys, because, you know, I always came to Singapore and in GPC in a huge event, so I can see this, but, you know, it's a conference, so everybody's really busy. But then I had the chance to be with the team in South America.
That was fun.
Yeah, it was super fun. You know, PC was there. We had so much fun together. And of course, the stage moments were great, but actually the table talk moments, the football matches moments, just living life together moments was amazing. You know, to see how you take every opportunity to teach your team, you know, everything that happens can turn to a discipleship moment. So this was really valuable to me, you know, to be able to be part of that, you know.
Exactly.
Yes, and I love how we hang out together. Like, you know, even both Pastor and Pastor Leo were just
Yes.
very relaxed, living life with us.
That's right,
And,
yeah.
and when you share, when I hear a perspective, it hit me because to me, there has always been like a way of life.
That's
They have
right, yeah.
always brought us all across the world. Even when we
Yeah.
were kids, you know, we were
Yeah.
younger, they bring us for their family holidays. So that was always the environment that I grew up in.
Yeah.
Yes.
But to me, it was like unique, you know, and even though I was an outsider, you know, I could feel part of the family, you know, because that's the way you guys are. You always try to include, you know. When we come to Singapore, and we come as a family, you know, my 9-year-old kid, he goes, Dad, my favorite touristic spot in Singapore is Heart of God Church.
Aw.
So he doesn't want to go anywhere else, you know. He wants to be there, you know, and I can see he doesn't speak great English, so still, but I can see, you know, even older people like 13, 14-year-old, they make the huge effort just to include him, you know, in activities. They will use translators, you know, they go all the extra mile just so he can feel home. So that's not only in pastor's heart, it's in every member's heart to include and to invite people to be a part of. So this is Heart of God Church.
If I may add another aspect, what really also fascinated me is, I mean, like most pastors, your first calling is your local church, and which is amazing. What amazes me about Pastor Hambaslea is their hearts to help other pastors in smaller churches, medium churches, in order to help them to succeed. And it's not coming with their brand or like, now I am planting my GenerationS flag. No strings attached, just pure servant heart to help the churches grow. So I have had the privilege to also travel and be at conferences where Pastor Hambaslea have been sharing and preaching to big crowds, very influential. But then, as you mentioned, being in South America, I mean, like being around them, to relax, to joke, have fun, and I think for me, because this is normal for you guys, but for me, coming from outside, to be able to get a seat at the table, to be there, to hear how they make discipleship so simple, but so impactful and so loving and so powerful at the same time. It has really, talking about the classroom experiences and like having degrees, but this just the moments like this discipleship moments, they have impacted me so much, and I pray that it will make me a better pastor and a better leader for my sheep, because I see how they do it here, and I mean like just also, I mean like how they include us. I mean like coming from very far away, and again how they take the time. I mean like leading a church with 5,000 plus. I mean like I know it's busy, but still every time coming to Singapore, coming, I mean like they feel like you have always been here. You are part of the family, and it's like you never were away, so to speak. And I think that's unique with Pastor Howe and Pastor Lee.
And what is amazing to me is that, okay, most of the pastors, foreign pastors, they come to GPC, okay, to Singapore. But GPC is not a fake or produced environment. They just don't organize the church for that weekend. It's just like every other weekend. It's the same home environment.
That's right.
It's the same feeling, you know. So when we get here, we are home. You know, I would actually encourage pastors whenever they come for GPC, they should plan their schedules to either stay for another weekend or arrive earlier for the previous weekend. So they are going to see Heart of God Church in a day-to-day routine is exactly what we experience in GPC, with international delegates. But the home environment is there. Because actually that's who pastors are. That's who you are. That's, the leaders are. They're just at home. You said the sentence again. It's so the home, family becomes like family.
Yes, friends become family.
That's it.
And family become friends.
That's it. That's the feeling I have at Heart of God Church. Yes.
Yes, this is one big family.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. You come here, you see like a youth church. Sometimes maybe we have a stereotype of what it means to be a youth pastor. You have to be cool, speak the lingo, better if you have some tattoos.
Yes, yeah.
But can you share, as you came to our conference, as you came to our church, how has it changed your mindset of leading and loving young people?
Here, I always reminded that the Bible says that, pastors will be known by their voice. And by this I mean this generation, and I think every generations, they connect to pastor's heart. Not only the style, you know. So no matter, the way you look, the way you dress, if you wear lingo or not, if you have a heart for young people, if you believe in them, and if you give them a voice, then they will connect to you, because otherwise you're just going to be an older guy trying to be young in the way you look, which is, they're going to see, you're going to be made fun of,
Yeah, they'll say we are fake. So
you're, come on, who do you think you are, But when no matter the way you look, outwardly, if inwardly you still believe in young people and you give them a voice, that's the connection. That's what I learned at Heart of God Church. Of course, you guys look great. You look, you look modern. The screens are awesome. Yeah. But it's not about it only. Of course, this is part. I think this is an important part. You have to keep fresh, but it's not only about it. Some people, they think it's a formula. Okay, if I look like this, if I dress, this way, if I speak this way, I'm reaching youth. No, you're reaching youth if you have a heart for young people and if you hear them. That's what I think.
Yeah. I think, this generation, when we talk about young people now, it's maybe the biggest challenge for churches to reach, because this generation is growing up with an iPhone, with the access to the entire universe in their hands. So how to win their attention in all that is going on? But we know they're still young people. They are still going through their teenage years with all what it has and includes. And in all this, it's so important to be relevant, to meet them where they are. And I think this can be this is a challenge, and I see this in Europe, that sometimes the gap between we have a hard time understanding the next generation, and we think what we know is best for them, but really we don't understand the world that they are living in. So I think for youth pastors today, it's not about all this what we just have been talking about, like the external, but it's really about the heart, about being a spiritual mother, a
That's right.
spiritual father,
Yes.
right.
to really care for them.
Yeah.
And I love what you are saying here about to make people belong. And then they will believe, and then they will become.
That's right.
Not just believing first, but they become, and then believe, and they become.
Yeah.
Because the young generation has, how I see it, it's a very ruthless generation, because where to plant, there are so many things, and identity less generation as well, because there are so much thing. How do I find my real self?
That's right.
And then it's so important that the church is relevant. It is not compromising, on the Bible and theology. So the cure is intact, but the way we express can be different. But to the end of the day, we need to be spiritual mothers. We need to care for them and make them feel that they belong to something, because they want to attach to something.
That's right.
That they are. Every young person is a seeker. He seeks for something where he can or she can find peace, and that's where we as church and youth pastor, we really need to be relevant and meet them where they are in this age, in all the social media, in all this what is going on. We need to so that they can rely on us, and because we also, it's a broken world.
It is.
And we know the devil, he attacks the children, he attacks the youth, because it's the future. So if we can already destroy them as young people, well, I have always succeeded, because the rest of their lives will be impacted by how their youth was.
Right.
So that's why it's such a crucial time for us to reach them and to make them secure, so they can have a great foundation to build on their life. So youth pastoring is the heart of mothers and fathers. That's what needs.
That's perfect. Yeah. Actually, I think it's a paradox, because this generation, they have access to many gadgets, to many technology, AI, and so on and so forth. So they are really independent.
Right.
They can live on their own. They can find solutions on their own. But at the same time, they are the generation who needs the most help ever. So there's a void that only can be filled with people that have fathers and mothers' heart. So when they find a leader that, besides being a leader, it's like a spiritual father and mother to them, that's where the connection happens. Again, that's why they have to be heard and to be loved, And that's what I see in Heart of God Church. The name itself, it's the heart of God, and the heart of God is to love everybody, So yeah, that's what this generation needs.
Amen.
Fathers and mothers. Yeah.
Amen. So, talking about a father's and mother's heart, this is what I've experienced when I was young, and now being a senior pastor, I want to do the same for the next generation.
Yes.
We got to have the same heart, to have to love them, to have a father's and mother's heart for the next generation.
That's right.
Yeah, so talking even like about a father's and mother's heart, I know that even for us, we got our opportunity to do our Masters of Divinity, and we studied at ORU, and we did together with Big V. Yes, and that was really special for us, because at the point of time in our church, it was like 2014, 2015, we were pretty successful already. And Pastor and Pastor Leah, they could have said, hey, I'll do it myself. Now it's time for me to take my Master of Divinity. I have built the church. It's at a good season now.
Yeah.
But I was so shocked, because one day they gathered a group of us and they said that, guys, we want you to take your Masters of Divinity. And they said that, we have led the church for so many years, and we have loved them, and the church respects us. But you guys are the next generation of pastors. And as we invest in you, believe in you, we know that you'll come up to a whole new level. And so, yeah, that's us. And that's how we started our journey, and we met you and we became friends. So it's really special.
Yes.
And when we were there in ORU on campus, we met so many of our classmates. Many of them were actually senior pastors themselves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah.
So they will
Yeah.
never send like their next generation or their deputy pastor to take
Yes.
the Master of Divinity. And I remember we were talking to our dean, Dr. Matthew, as well. And he was so shocked that we were sent here instead of our senior pastors.
Yes.
And he told us, don't ever take your senior pastors for granted.
That's right. Yeah.
And that's a very, very important life lesson.
Yeah, that shows their heart and the heart that is behind all of what Heart of God Church does. They're really father and mother, because they are happy to see their sons achieving dreams that even themselves couldn't achieve. So that's their accomplishment. Yeah, we have to commend them for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we say like great fathers don't make us chase their dreams. They help us chase ours.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
it. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they help us to chase our dreams and to make our dreams come to pass.
Yes. That's
Yes. And now we can do the same for the next generation.
Exactly.
Yeah.